All right, so I had a viewer reach out to me with the request to make a video, and I'm happy to do that. And what this viewer, this chess player, wanted is they're going to be playing in an over the board tournament, and they wanted to know how to use chess.com. This person has a diamond membership with chess.com, and they wanted to know how to use chess.com to analyze the games that they play over the board and to store those games so that they can refer to it in the future. So I'm happy to show you how to do that. And I will put a link. I did reach out to chess.com and I got a link with a nice little video showing how to do it. And then, some like a little mini guide explanation. So I'll put a link to that in the show description. But I figured what we would do is we would just do it completely from scratch, and we'll pretend you just played, your first over the board game that you want to enter into chess.com and analyze. And so I'm at the main screen here of chess.com when you first log in. And what you do is you go over to the Learn tab here on the left-hand side, and under the Learn, you choose Analysis. It'll be the bottom one that comes up when you click on Learn. So we click on that. We click on the Analysis button. And what that does is it'll bring up this empty chessboard. But the cool thing is you'll have your notation that you kept from the tournament, on your physical notation sheet that you wrote out. And you just get that in front of you, ready to go. And what I would suggest is that you do this soon after you play the tournament, because if you're like me, there may be one or two things that you didn't write down clearly or might be a little bit off, and it's good to do it while the game is still kind of fresh in your head, so you can recreate it in case you had any errors in your notation. Now, I'm not going to go and enter like a whole game of mine or something. But what we would do is let's just pretend you were playing your game and you got your notation in front of you. So you just start entering it. Let's say you played the Kali system against somebody. You just enter the moves as they are on your notation sheet. And I'm just making up moves here. We'll just kind of go down the main kind of line without a move order that would actually kind of be typical. But let's just say we kind of get in a mainline position. And we'll just pretend like one of the players hangs a piece soon or something and loses the game. But let's just say we get kind of a weird scenario like this, and let's say they resign here. Most of us won't be that lucky, but let's just pretend this is the game that we wanted to save. And so what we do at that point, after we enter the whole game in, is we can go and we can put the details of the tournament. By clicking over here, it defaults to analysis, and you can see you can turn on the computer evaluation, but my recommendation would be not to do that. Enter all the moves first without that computer evaluation on. I think it's good to evaluate your games on your own before you look at the computer. And then over here, you click on this thing that says details, and you can put, if you were white, you can put your name in there. You can put what your rating was at the time you played the game. You can put the name of the black player. We'll just put John Doe in there. What their rating was when you played them. Then you put the result of the game. And then you can put details of the name of the event that it was played. So you can, we'll just make up a name here. We'll say, first annual FIDE Open, we'll just say Philadelphia or something. You can put the time control of the game, say if it was 90 minutes with 30-second increment. and the location, put Philadelphia, and you can put the round of the tournament, and you can enter the date. So let's say it was played today. You can choose the calendar, enter the date. And so now you got all your information in there about the game. And what you want to do at that point is you can add it to a library. And so chess.com has a thing called library. And what you want to do is to get to it and to create it for the first time. There's a thing down here on the bottom right side that looks like a library or a building with columns in front of it with a little plus sign on the bottom right. Just click that button. It says, if you hover over it, it says add to library. So we'll click on that, and it says add to library. You have not created any collections yet. And so you can have multiple different collections within your personal library. And so what you would want to do is just click this button that says create new collection. Actually, you type the name of it in, it looks like, first, and then we'll click that. So we hit this create new collection, go down to where it says new collection name, and maybe name it my OTB games, my over the board games 2022. You may want to have, it's up to you how you want to organize it, but let's just do that for now. We hit save. And so now you can see we can add this position, this game that we have in analysis, to this collection of my OTB games. So let's hit that, and we can see it. Look, it added it to that collection. So now you could, do your analysis and write your notes and everything on here. Or what you can do is we could go to the library. So if we go on the left-hand side, the main menu here, under More, and up at the top, there's a little picture of a building that looks like a library, and it says library. We'll click on that, and we can see we have this collection now within our library, and it is our personal collection. And it says it has one game in here, and we created it today. So we'll click on that, and now we see a list of all the games we put in this library. We've only put the one in, but we would want to enter, do this for each of our tournament games. But we can click on this now, and it'll forever be, up here on their cloud. And so if we click on it, you see that it brings up like a snapshot of the game. If you want, you can actually click through it here, which is pretty handy because if you're trying to remember a specific game, you can cycle through this quickly. Just click on it, it'll bring it up, and then you can remember if that was the game you were looking for or not. And then this is the first time I've ever used this, so people who know me know I just kind of fly by the seat of my pants and kind of wing it. But it seems really easy to use. It seems pretty good, actually. So then what you can do is you could go in and you could use this analyze feature, and that'll bring up like a board like we had before. And maybe what I would suggest then is once you get this game put in there and you have it saved in your collection, bring it up in the analysis mode, and you may want to put some notes on here, like you can go to a move. Let's just say we wanted to just put a couple of comments on the game or something. So you can comment before a move or after a move. So we'll just hit this comment after, and we can write a comment in here. And maybe we just you just say an easy game. My opponent seemed distracted, or whatever you want to say. And now you see it kind of saved that for you. And so you could, after you make your own notes and, your own memories of the game, you could then, look at it with the computer, try to find the ultimate truth, see, you could use this game review function, just kind of like what after you play a game on chess.com. And I myself don't have the Diamond membership, but I know there's all kinds of different tools, and I don't even, to be honest, I'm kind of old school, so I don't know what all the tools are that are available, but I know, you can review, well, we made one mistake, probably the very last move, but you can do your things where you try to do learn from your mistakes and whatnot. But then at the end, I believe it will give you like suggestions for lessons and all that kind of stuff. And that's a little bit beyond me because I don't have access to that. But I think it looks pretty decent actually. So I would actually consider doing this on my own games. I use a program called Hierarchs, which is for Macintosh. And some people use ChessBase. But the cool thing is if we go back to our collection here, you could easily enter it on here and then download it. You download that database file. It's called the PGN file, and you can load that into ChessBase or Hierarchs or any of the kind of standalone databases. But you would never actually need to if you just wanted to keep it, here in the cloud on chess.com. I think that would be perfectly great. And then one thing too is like I think you could make you got this one collection for your over the board games. What you could do is you could make additional collections and do games that you play online where you found interesting, or let's say you play like in the dojo league or some kind of team league. Maybe you want to create an additional collection just for those games. So for instance, let's say like let's go to my profile here, and I will just pull up the last game I played. If we go into the game, the cool thing is we see this library thing again on the bottom. So we can add this game to our library without having to enter anything. And let's say perhaps like this game here was kind of interesting because I used just a common rook pawn endgame drawing technique where you just pin the opponent's king in the corner there. So maybe I wanted to keep a collection of my games that had thematic endgame ideas, say. Or maybe, this idea came up, but I missed it. But the computer showed me this idea, and I thought it was interesting, and I wanted to try to remember this theme. Well, I could create a new collection. So I would go down here where it says this little library-looking thing here with the pillars and the plus sign, and it says add to library when you hover over it. I could do this, and I could create a new collection, and I could put thematic endgame ideas or something to that effect. And then I could click on that, and it has saved it to that collection of my library. So now if we go back out to the main page, go underneath more and go up to library, we see we have two collections in here. And if I pull up that game, or that collection, I should say, we will have this game in here. And, you can play through it here. I could pull it up and analyze it. We could do the full review mode. I played this pretty bad game, and the guy really rushed through the game. I don't know why he was playing so quickly. You could see I was dead to rights here, and then I swindled him with this thematic endgame idea. But you could do this, go in your collection, do the game review from there. Like maybe you just want to add it to your collection. You want to keep playing games, but you want to come back to it later, and easily do the game review and maybe add some notes to it. Because you can go into the analysis mode. We could go down to the end here, comment after it, and say, This is a common draw technique against rook pawns. I mean, obviously you do a lot more stuff, but you could annotate the game yourself here as you going through, like these mistakes that I made. I was in a losing position because I rushed it. Maybe I'll actually make a video on this game. It had a lot of good things for me to improve on, and I was lucky to save the game. But you see it, like, once you have it saved into your library, it looks like it automatically saves it. So if we go out to the main page, go back to our library, pull up this same collection, this thematic endgame ideas, and we pull up this game, and we go down here and pull up the analysis. I guess it didn't save the comment. So that is something to saved analysis. What is this? Okay, that's stuff from other games that I've done. So I think we would have had to hit that save button. But you can monkey around with it, get the gist of it. Make sure we get the save. You hit the save button enough to save the comments as you put them in. And then if you have issues, I would just feel free to reach out to chess.com support and say, what am I doing wrong? I'm doing this and it's not saving the comments or something to that extent. But anyway, that's how I would do it if I was playing an OTB game and I wanted to use the tools of the chess.com with the game analysis and game review on my games. And then I wanted to, have them permanently stored here on their website up in the cloud. You could just create an OTB games file, enter them all in there right when you get home from the tournament while your memory is fresh. And then as you get time, go in, annotate them, put your thoughts on them. And then after you review it yourself, then look at the computer, use their review function. The person who reached out to me has the Diamond membership. They could use the suggestions of, what the training ideas and whatnot. So yeah, I think it seems pretty good actually, and I may actually learn it better and start using it myself for my Dojo Liga games, and maybe I'll enter some of my old notations. I actually have them stored. That's the other thing. One thing to mention is, like, if you have old OTB games, you can enter them in here from PGN files. So, like, I have them on that. Well, let me pull one up here and just throw one in, I think. You can paste it from PGN in here and hit upload. And, it uploaded the moves for you. So, yeah, you can just take them from one of the other databases, drop them in here, and add them that way too. But yeah, so I think it has pretty good potential. And the video that I watched made it sound like they're going to be adding more stuff onto it potentially, and having, that little, when we were out in the analysis mode, it had that little library sign where I could just add it in directly from there. It sounds like they'll be adding that to more places and whatnot. But yeah, anyway, thanks for reaching out with that idea. And the other cool thing to mention is this viewer sounds like they're going to be playing the Chameleon Slav, so that'll be kind of cool. Hopefully they'll maybe send me a like a notation of their game if they want, and we can review it and see what we can learn from the Slav. I haven't actually I started playing the Chameleon after the pandemic started, and I haven't played since then, so I haven't actually played it out in the wild. So it'd be kind of cool if this person sent the PG in, and maybe we can look at it, keep them anonymous, of course, but it could be interesting, and maybe create a little library on here. I could even maybe make it public of games like that where people have tried these openings out in the wild, and we'll see what people face over the board when they play it. All right. Well, hopefully that helps somewhat. And like I said, there's a link to the actual video from chess.com in there, and that's helpful. So I would recommend watching that. And don't hesitate to reach out to them either with questions. I'm sure they got people that are paid to respond if you're experiencing any issues. So good luck to that viewer who sent this in. Good luck in your over the board tournament, and hopefully somebody plays d4 and you get to play that chameleon against them. I'll be interested to see what they would play against you. All right, take care.